Everyone assumed the next upload from Matt Armstrong would be another Chiron update. And honestly, that made perfect sense. The rebuild is nearly finished. Everything is slowly coming together, piece by piece, step by step, and it's finally reaching that stage where real progress is visible. People were watching closely. They expected something big. Another milestone on one of the most ambitious projects the channel has ever taken on. Instead, Matt completely flipped the script. Just like that, everything changed. Nobody saw it coming. Not at this stage, not in the middle of a rebuild this size, and definitely not delivered that casually. It didn't feel planned. It didn't feel like a scheduled announcement. It felt sudden, impulsive even, and that's exactly what caught everyone off guard.
I have just bought a Bugatti Veyron with a small widget.
And then he says something that makes it even more interesting.
I'll be honest, a Bugatti was never on my dream car list.
That one line tells you everything you need to know. This wasn't a lifelong goal finally realized. It wasn't some slow-burning ambition he'd been working toward for years. There was no vision board, no savings plan, no one-day mentality behind it. This was pure opportunity, the kind that shows up without warning and forces you to make a decision on the spot. No time to plan. No time to overthink. Either you move or you miss it. Because we're not talking about just any vehicle here. We're talking about the Bugatti Veyron, one of the most extraordinary machines ever built. Not just because of what it costs, and not just because of how fast it goes, but because of what it actually represents. The Veyron wasn't built to generate profit. Bugatti reportedly lost money on every single one they sold. They built it to make a statement, to push engineering so far beyond normal boundaries that the results shouldn't even exist on paper. A car that the world had no right to expect, and yet here it was. The numbers are staggering. AW16 engine, 16 cylinders, 8.0 liters of displacement, 4 turbochargers, and 1,001 horsepower. That was the benchmark when this car launched, and it still commands respect today. Only 450 were ever produced, making each one genuinely rare. And on the current market, a clean Veyron will cost you well over $1.5 million, if you can even find one available. Because owning one isn't just about having the money. It's about timing, access, and the right opportunity landing in front of you at the right moment. Somehow, that's exactly what happened to Matt. He's down in Florida, working on Alex's Chiron, already deep in one of the most complex rebuilds the channel has ever attempted, when a message comes through. A repossession company. A Bugatti Veyron. Available now, priced below market because it has problems. Think about that for a second. You're already working on one of the most technically demanding cars in existence. You're under pressure. People are watching. The Chiron rebuild is consuming everything. And then, out of nowhere, another Bugatti lands in your path. Not perfect, not clean, not guaranteed, but available and available at a price that reflects the risk involved. This is where it all comes down to one decision: walk away or take the risk. And this isn't a small risk. There's no middle ground with a car like this. A Bugatti Veyron with unknown problems isn't a bargain. It's a gamble with potentially life-changing consequences in either direction. These cars don't have cheap problems. Even routine maintenance is eye-watering, and a serious mechanical fault can spiral into a six-figure bill before you've even understood what went wrong. Anyone in this world knows that. But as he put it himself, opportunities like this don't come twice. So he commits. No lengthy deliberation, no spreadsheet of pros and cons, no waiting for more information. Just instinct. A decision made in the moment. And just like that, he owns a Bugatti Veyron. Even he couldn't fully process it at first. You can hear it in those words, not just excitement, but genuine disbelief. That specific feeling where something real has happened, but your brain hasn't completely accepted it yet. Where the facts are clear, but reality still feels slightly out of reach. Then the car arrives. And this is where things get genuinely interesting. Visually, it looks immaculate. No crash damage. No obvious body repairs. The paint is clean, the interior is solid, and nothing immediately raises a red flag. For a repossessed car with listed problems, it presents remarkably well. And that's actually the dangerous part. When a car looks this good on the outside, the real issues are almost always buried underneath. Hidden in the mechanicals. Waiting to be found. Matt even says it himself, "It looks so good," and for a brief moment, you can sense that cautious optimism creeping in. Maybe this was one of those rare situations where everything just works out. Maybe the problems are minor. Maybe the risk was worth it from the very first moment. Then reality arrives. The engine starts. It runs. Not perfectly, there's a misfire, something slightly off, but it runs and that matters. A running engine is always a better starting point than a silent one. But then comes the real problem. The car won't move. No drive, no neutral, no response from the transmission whatsoever. Completely stuck. And suddenly, you're no longer looking at a promising deal. You're looking at a potential nightmare. Because the gearbox on a Bugatti Veyron is not a normal component. It's a dual-clutch unit engineered to handle over 1,000 horsepower, built with tolerances and complexity that make it unlike almost anything else on the road. A full replacement? Around $300,000. That's not a typo. $300,000 for the gearbox alone. So standing there, watching a car that won't move, knowing that one component could cost more than most people's homes, that's a very specific kind of pressure. But instead of panicking, they do what they always do. They slow everything down. They approach it methodically, one system at a time, because guessing on a car like this isn't just useless, it's expensive. Every sound gets examined. Every warning, every reading, every detail gets treated as a piece of information worth understanding properly. Because at this stage, the goal isn't to fix anything yet. The goal is to understand what's actually wrong. And that investigation raises more questions than it answers, at least initially. There's no service history. No clear background on where this car has been or what's been done to it. No explanation of why it was repossessed in the first place. Just the keys and a list of symptoms that don't yet add up to a clear picture. People don't walk away from Bugatti Veyrons easily. The financial hit alone is enormous, and anyone who owned one in the first place had serious resources. So when someone gives one up, when it ends up in the hands of a repossession company, something significant happened. And whatever that something is, it's buried in this car. The deeper the investigation goes, the more patterns start to emerge. Unusual signs that feel connected rather than coincidental. Symptoms that echo issues seen in other cars, even links surfacing to another damaged Bugatti. It starts to feel less like a random collection of faults and more like a trail leading somewhere specific. Like there's a story inside this Veyron that hasn't been told yet, and every new discovery is another sentence of it coming into focus. That's what shifts this from a straightforward rebuild into something genuinely compelling. You're not just watching someone fix a car. You're watching a mystery get unpicked in real time, with no guarantee of how it ends. Because right now, this could go either way. The transmission issue could turn out to be an electrical fault, a sensor, something manageable, or it could be exactly what the worst-case scenario looks like. The misfire could be simple, or it could point to something deeper in the engine. The coolant situation developing quietly in the background could be minor, or it could be the beginning of a much larger problem. Nobody knows yet, not even Matt. And that uncertainty is what makes every single update matter. Because one test, one scan, one small discovery can completely change the direction of this story. Every time you think the picture is becoming clearer, another layer gets revealed underneath it. What's already clear, though, is that this wasn't a casual or careless decision. It was a calculated risk, bold, fast, and made with full awareness of what could go wrong. The kind of move that most people would talk themselves out of, and that a small number of people make and never forget, regardless of how it turns out. Whether this Veyron becomes one of the greatest finds in the channel's history, or one of the most expensive lessons, that's still to be determined. But either way, you're already invested. You want to know what's inside this car. You want to know what went wrong, who walked away from it, and whether Matt can actually bring it back. Because with a Bugatti like this, nothing is simple, nothing is guaranteed, and that's exactly what makes it impossible to look away from.